It's always nice to be able to have that.
Go ahead, Susan.
All right, so my name is Susan Green Fairbairn, and I came to work here about almost a year ago. My company is Delaware North. We are the hospitality arm for the Jaguars, so we're in charge of all the catering, any hospitality event that happens here, but most importantly, the concessionary portion of the Jaguar games. Actually, we take care of every single event that happens at the stadium. And what I'm here to talk to y'all about today is what I can do for you and what you can do for us. What we can do for you would be a fundraising avenue that would help you put some more dollars in your coffer. And what you'll be doing for us would be staffing the volunteer level for the concession stands for any event here that happens within the stadium. So the schedule of events, I believe I sent to Curtis, starts on July the 2nd with a concert here at the stadium. Then with 2 preseason games, the regular season, there's 8 home games. We also host the annual Florida Georgia game. Everybody knows about that. We're also on the College Bowl tour. So we have the Gator Bowl or the Taxslayer Bowl, some people call it. And then we do Monster Jam, which, to be honest, I was highly entertained by that this year. I thought it was something completely different than it is. It's actually an international event. So Delaware North is a leader in the hospitality industry. They're all over the world. They're in Australia. They're in England. They're here in America. They're in several national parks. They do lodge, the lodges. They do parks. They're at the Cape Canaveral. They are in airports, but more importantly, they're here at the TIAA Bank Field, and we need your help and other nonprofits to come in and staff in our concession stands that we've abbreviated and called the stands. So what you would do is come here and be trained, very intensely trained, hands-on orientation, and then we take you to a concession stand and set you down, put you to work, teach you how to cook, teach you how to clean, teach you anything you would need to know to successfully operate a concession stand. And while you're at the training, you have the ability to ask any question that you might have. And then you'll learn exactly what to do while you're here on a Sunday afternoon. In exchange for that, we will reward you with a 9% commission of the net sales that you've earned while you're working there. And I have some examples that I can give you. In addition, you will get 100% of the credit card tips. And the bonus of all that is you will never touch cash. It's all plastic. Google Pay, Apple Pay, credit cards, no cash. I'm sorry, there's some background talking going on. Can y'all hear me?
You're perfect.
Okay. I do all the paperwork. We have staff here that does all the accounting. You just need to show up, be trained, do your work, clean up your stand, get your paperwork signed off on, go home, let me get your direct deposit in the bank for you. And you use the funds to serve the communities in the art world out there. Let me give you some examples of the way it has benefited some groups in the past.
Hey, Susan.
Interrupt me anytime. Yes.
Okay. Okay. So, and I know this is part of the literature, but I'm going to go ahead and hit this right now. So when you talk training, we are talking about a responsibility that every volunteer, anyone that's going to be in that concession area has to go through training. We can't one person get trained and then hand off those training to another person. Every person that's going to serve has to go through your training.
Exactly.
Okay.
And in the beginning, let's say your group is 10 folks, all 10 of y'all, you don't have to all come on the same day. For example, if I don't recall if I've sent you the training schedule for June. There are many opportunities during June. There will be many opportunities during July and August. Probably slow down to maybe 2 or 3 in September, October, November. It'll continue on through the season. So if you add a person or two throughout the season, We will continue to have trainings for that 1 or 2 extra people to come and attend. The same 10 people, 8 people, 12 people don't have to be in the stand every single time. You can float
Right.
1 or 2 people out or not. We do have a minimum of 6 events for the season. Florida, Georgia is a requirement. Let me tell you why. It's A, you'll make a lot of money. B, you'll be helping us out because if any of y'all have ever been to Florida, Georgia, I have never met a person that loves football that hasn't been to that game, but we double the capacity here. If only 40,000 people are coming to a regular Jaguar game, Florida,
Right.
Georgia increases to 80,000 people. I
Yep.
need warm bodies in the stands. You would just
Yep.
not believe the lines.
Yep.
So let me just give you some examples of some income that some groups made last year. One group that brought 5 people and worked in a pizza stand called Monster Slice up on the upper deck. They worked 6 events. They made about $7,000. And there's a local nonprofit out there at the beach. Another group that brought 9 people and worked 7 events. This time they made 9,000. Another group that had 7 events and brought 10 people made 13,000. Now for the granddaddy, moving into the granddaddies. One group that had 10 folks, they worked 15 events. We had an extra event last year. I can explain that in a moment. They made $35,000. So jumping up into that 10 number, working more events, you make more money. Another group that had 15 folks, worked 7 events, $25,000. Now here's the big one. This group has been with us for several years. They work super hard. Not saying other groups don't, they have a rhythm. 15 people, 14 events, $47,000. Now, I don't know if you could do anything good with that kind of money, but I know Curtis and I know that y'all could. And let me also say that when you get more than 14 people, your percentage goes up to 9.5%. We have another opportunity and it's called hawking cold beer. Get your cold beer, your cold water, and you carry either a tray or a cooler with you. And you're assigned a room, if you will, and you'll meet in that room. That requires 6 to 10 folks. There'll be a staff person that works for us here at Delaware North that will keep track of what you're issued to go sell. You'll have an area in the stadium that's near that room. That will be explained more if that interests y'all. That pays out at 12%. It's hard work, especially in the summertime. But I don't discourage you from considering that because the payout is bigger. Again, 100% credit card tips. I know it's a lot to think about, but Curtis, when I saw you that Saturday morning, I've been thinking about dancing in the streets, deck the chairs.
That's okay. Yeah.
For a while and how to help y'all raise some more money.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And, the idea of this, it excited the board. And as you can see, the board is busy. They all have lives. And, the event itself typically doesn't gather around all the energy until we're into, August, September, October. It's like always
Understood.
This time of the year, trying to fire up staff or people and volunteers. It's just work. So
let me add another cool factor into it. Parking is free. If you use the parking that we provide for you, providing it's the same situation it was last year, and I haven't heard anything to the contrary. We provide parking for everyone at the courthouse parking garage. And we have buses, school buses. Okay. And if you come as a group, and then you can check in as a group. And so the games are at 1, gates are at 11, check in with my team is a couple hours ahead of that. The game is over at 4,
So check in would be like 9?
8:30, 9 o'clock. You get up in there, you start setting up, you start cooking, you're ready when the gates are open. It goes fast.
Yeah, I
It
know.
really does. So it's about an 8-hour day. It's totally worth it. And I will swear to you, no group ever came down last year and said to me or my team, I hate this, canceling my contract, I'm out of here. Everybody came down and said, that is so much fun, I can't wait to come back. Every single time.
So after game, let's say it is a 1 o'clock game
Mhm.
and we've met, you're saying we would be downtown and prepping at 8:30, 9 o'clock? I mean,
Yes. Mhm.
getting on a bus or being already in the station?
You would, so what, I see what you're saying. I don't know, honestly, I should probably do this myself, find out how long it takes to get from the courthouse to here. I would imagine that the buses are running pretty regularly and you could probably be on a bus, between
That'd
8
be-
and 8:30 and be to
That's what
me.
I'm
But-
saying. So the bus is probably an 8 o'clock.
But my check-in window is large enough to accommodate the 300 to 500 people that I've got coming in to check in with me and my team.
Right.
I have over 25 concession stands and then there's the club. So there's a lot of folks to pass through.
Right.
And what I have happen, Curtis, to get into the weeds here is, say you and I were the leads for an MPO group, bring the group in, it's a big area. You come up, you grab the clipboard, you go over with your group, get everybody to sign in, pass out your meal tickets, et cetera. So you bring back the clipboard, we check it out. I hand you your notebooks, or I've got your notebooks up in your concession stand, then you take your group, you got to get through security. I'm giving you enough time to get all this done before you get up into your concession stand and get to work, so that you're ready to go and the rollers are up at, those, what do you call those windows that are roller boards? You
Yeah,
have them up
yeah.
and open at 11 o'clock.
So the age limit on these volunteers?
Good question. 16 and above, however, there's always a however, 16 and 17-year-olds cannot handle alcohol,
Right.
literally.
Yeah.
So 18 and above to work a register, because every single concession stand has alcohol, has beer. So an 18-year-old will be the ones running the concession, running the registers, because you're sitting there handing the beer to the customer. So if you have 16 and 17-year-olds, they're going to be working what I call backup house.
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yep, definitely. So the 25 concession stands,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah, yeah.
Erica, will you tell them I'm on a Zoom call?
We're good.
Excuse me.
I hear you fine. You hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
All right. So the concession stands themselves, they're a mix of stands, right?
Yes. There are portables, which just take 3 or 4 people. They're like hot dog stands, Frito-Lay type stands. There are small pizza stands, that do pizzas, pretzels, Cokes, beer. There are stadium classics that are popcorn, pretzels, hot dogs, like a theater fair. Then there are specialty type stands. There's big ones that take 20 plus people. There are medium ones. Then there's the special ones like a taco stand or a sausage stand or we have a barbecue stand, but they range from small, medium, and large.
Susan, this is Alex. Does the training included for all the different types of stands, or are you trained based upon a certain particular stand?
That's a good question. I think that they take you in one stand and try to show you all the equipment. However, at some point, there will be stand assignments starting to be made, and the folks that are there for that training will be shown their particular stand. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Okay.
And then the other question I had, I know you said a requirement of 6, but those that do the hawking, is that still have a minimum person requirement? Or can that be less people for those situations?
Oh, no, so all concession stands and hawking have a minimum person.
Okay.
So, so the hawking room. So the hawking room has a minimum of 6 to 10 folks, and concession stands have a minimum of number of folks.
Okay.
And then all groups have a minimum of 6 events, and we have 14 to choose from. Of course, ideally, I would love everybody to do them all. But you don't have to be the same persons doing the same ones every time.
Yeah.
You can rotate in and out.
Now, are all the events on a Sunday, or do some of them fluctuate between like a Friday and Saturday?
So for example, the first one is July 2nd, which is a concert, and that's on a Saturday. Preseason is Friday and Saturday. And then Jaguars play Sundays starting, looking at the schedule, I apologize. The first home game is Sunday, September 18th.
Mhm.
Then Florida, Georgia is a Saturday. We don't know about starting in January. We're up against whether it's a Saturday or Sunday in January. And then Texler, Gator Ball, and Monster Jam are to be determined dates, but they'll either be Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. And then when it comes to attire, are we allowed to bring our own attire, or is that supplied, or do we purchase
I
that?
would love for you all to wear matching shirts that say deck the chairs. That's good advertisement for you. And you have to wear black pants or shorts and closed-toed shoes.
Okay.
And you're fortunate that we don't tell you what color shoe. I had the opportunity to go to Green Bay to Lambeau Field, and they tell them what color shoes to wear.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
What about headwear? Do you put the little knitted hats on everyone, something like that?
The girls wear nets and we give the guys hats.
So the hats are provided by you.
Yes.
Okay.
This is all explained in a contract. Did I send you a contract?
I just haven't distributed it
If-
out.
I'll send another one to you.
Send another one to the actual group, to the last email I sent out.
Okay.
Just send it back to that. After we wrap this up, I'll let everyone know that there's a recorded, conversation with you so they can go.
Okay.
The thing I was going to ask regarding the schedule and different numbers of people, it's sounding to me like 6. Well, if 6 is the absolute. 6, that means we have to have at least 6 people, probably, right? Or what do you think the number is averaging per game day event that we might support you? Could it be 3?
Well, if you want to make some decent money, Curtis, I really think you should shoot for 8 to 10. But the problem
At the games per
yes.
game, but so if you put us in a smaller, so that determines where we're going to end up, running a concession, because a concession stand probably has some limits in its space and what can be there from a volunteer standpoint. I can imagine some of these little stands that are pizza stands. Can they handle 8 people?
They're all different sizes. I've got one piece of place that needs 9 to 12 people, and I've got one that only needs 5.
What I wondered.
But the 9 to 12 one last season, they made closer to 12 or 13,000. They were there all season.
Yeah.
But then the one that did only 5 events, they only made 7,000. But it depends on how much money do you want to make. Now, the other thing is, if you commit to 10 people and people start not showing up, there's a heavy fine.
That's right. That's what. So my point on this, when it comes to the board and the decision on moving forward, that this has to be a commitment early on to, at least to me, the 6 games, and an understanding that, that's 10 people on average, 9 to 10 for 6 specific games or events, at minimum, the board has to understand beyond the board, because I know it'll be this kind of conversation where we have to have 5 to 10 probably more friends that are outside the board, that are actively
Right.
on deck the chairs, that can say, yep, I'm with you guys and we're going to volunteer and we're going to be.
Well, and what about like, I mean, just thinking out loud, spouses,
Oh, yeah. All of that.
sisters, brothers,
All
and
of
you
it.
know, I don't know how you feel about this and what your relationship with some of your sponsors are, but what about somebody that has come every year and put a chair up? You could say, hey, this is what we're doing down at the Jaguars. Would anybody be interested in coming and joining us?
But we
Okay.
got that. I can say we have that. We also have relationships with groups that are pretty healthy sized groups like UNF or American Legion, or it might be that we have, a conversation related to community service hours again. And I don't know how that fits into this, but can we do that? Can we provide some of our, young adults that are 17 years old, community service hours through Deck the Chairs and serving as a volunteer at the stadium?
I caution you, I don't have a problem with that. It is allowed, but I caution you not to have too many at one time. Here's what happens.
Right.
It's hard for you to monitor them and do your job. They tend to want to play on their phones. They
That's
want to
what I
sit
think.
down, but just, you can do it.
We see it. We see it at Deck the Chairs.
I know. Okay, then you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I want to apologize for looking off and trying to get people's attention when they're watching the video. They're going to want to know what that was about, but
You're good.
okay. Listen, I'm available for questions anytime. And
I think we covered a lot of ground. That was great, Susan.
Okay, all right.
And what would
I will resend the contract and I will resend the schedule and I will send out the June training schedule. Trying to think of anything else that would be helpful. And I'll
you have a
send it.
July one too? Can you send June?
No,
in?
it's supposed to be ready next week, but it will mimic a little bit of what the June one is. We do the training here at the stadium, and so it's a matter of making sure that the classroom is available.
How many people are you going to end up being responsible for, essentially, roughly?
Between 550 and 600.
Yeah.
It
Well,
takes
bless you.
about, it takes about 400 to run the game smoothly, but I want to have, people in the back pocket.
I got you. Well, we hope to be some of those people. And thank you again for your time. And Alex, appreciate you getting on. We'll go ahead and end the recording now and make it available. And hopefully we're talking more seriously by early next week.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Susan.
Wait, let me give you my phone number on the recording. 904-633-6162.
Perfect.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.